Wow, sorry, this is the best lamb I've ever eaten in my life. Let me try and compose myself for a second. This is so much better than I thought it was going to be, but this is just ridiculously good. It's meaty, salty, it's caramelized, it's tender, it's juicy, the fat is melting, it's delicate, it's elegant. Sorry. I'm like drunk on lamb. This is just one of the best taste tests I've ever done, and I'm absolutely love it. Hi guys, it's James from Meatster, and today I've got something a little bit different than normal. We've moved from beef to lamb, and I've got to say the smell in here is absolutely to die for. Now what we've done today is go for 3 different cooking methods. This is rack of lamb. They're all from the same farm. They're Romney Saltmarsh lamb, which here in the UK is probably the best type, at least in England. First of all, we went for sous vide at 130 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. Secondly, we put this in the coal barbecue, which was between 250 and 300. It stayed there for about 15 to 18 minutes, and we used the thermometer to check the temperature. And then this went in the pan for about 5 or 6 minutes to brown, and then it had 8 minutes in the oven. Look, I'm really starving now, so I'm going to slice these open, and we're just going to see what has happened. Okay, now I cooked this first one in the oven and I gave it 6 or 7 minutes, and we've got medium well here, so there's a little bit of pinkness left. I'm happy with that. Normally I do 15 or 20 minutes for a full rack, but it was difficult with this very small piece to know exactly how much, but that's not looking too bad. Secondly, the barbecue one, which smells amazing, has obviously picked up a little bit of barbecue character, which has changed the colour on the outside. And, perfect. So we've got the same again. So this is now medium well, little bit of pinkness, and it's uniformly cooked. They're all slicing really easily. The fat is just absolutely melting away under this knife. And again, we've got the same uniform colour, medium well. All the fat looks like it's rendered quite a lot. I'm just desperate to try these now, so I'm going to go for the oven cooked one first. Okay. The time it spends in the pan has really cooked the fat beautifully. There's delicious, like, caramelized fat flavour there. It's so juicy. It's so juicy, it's just completely coating the inside of the mouth. I've got a nice piece of fat on the outside. Let's see what happens. It's one of my biggest gripes with rack of lamb is often the fat is not cooked enough. I made sure I kept this in the pan for quite a long time. A lot of people will obviously tell me in the comments that it should be medium rare, not medium well. What I'm going to say to that is each to their own. I'm quite happy when it turns up medium rare or medium. My wife, on the other hand, likes it well done. When you get medium rare, the fat is not going to be cooked as much, obviously. So that's why you can tell here that the fat has had a decent amount of cooking. It's so easy to cut that off, which you just wouldn't have if it was medium rare. Okay. Now, I've never barbecued a rack of lamb before, and I'm intrigued to see what it's done for the flavour. This first one was so sweet. There wasn't much gaminess or earthiness. Here we go. Oh wow. It's a whole new layer of flavour. It's not gone smoky at all. It wasn't done at such a high temperature as to burn or char grill it at all. There's just Okay, that's a step up, I would say. Wow, step up in flavor. And even though they're cooked at roughly the same temperature, as you can see here, this is from the oven and this is from the barbecue, they're the same color. This is juicier. Oh. I mean, you feel like a bit of a barbarian with a rack of lamb. Wow. That's so far the juiciest piece of meat I've had off rack of lamb. I'm so used to cooking it medium rare, and then it's obviously very tender, but it's not so juicy. The fat hasn't melted in, so this is just perfect. Okay, this is the sous vide one. This is what I was waiting to see even more. Okay, let's just taste. I just want to taste the meat from the middle without getting any of the outside first. I just want to see how juicy. Completely different flavor. It's been in there for an hour, so although it's only reached a certain temperature, it's been cooking for longer. That does soften the meat. It, you know, denatures the protein and it makes it soft. So that is very, very tender. But in regards to flavor, it's got nowhere near the depth of flavor of the first two, and the barbecue has the most by far. I'm gonna take a big piece of this. This back to the oven one. This is the way that traditionally you would cook it. Okay, it's got better and more flavor than the sous vide one. It's deeper, it's sweeter, a nicer texture. The fat is cooked more, or it's at least more caramelized. You know, when you put the sous vide lamb in the pan, you don't have enough time necessarily before you take it too far. Okay, back to the barbecue one again. Oh, just look at that. Look at that. Stunning. That is enough to bring a tear to your eye. Wow. I'm a bit speechless. I didn't think there would be that dramatic of a difference. I want to try this sous vide one again. I want to have a whole proper mouthful from the middle. Well, let's have the outside piece that's been in the pan for a minute or two. Nowhere near the same amount of flavor. It's incredibly tender. It's medium in texture. It feels more like a less cooked piece, but in flavor, there's obviously not enough Maillard reaction when it doesn't have time in the oven or time in the barbecue. You know, when cooking any of these meats that we cook on the channel, or lots of food really, the Maillard reaction plays such an important part. With the barbecue, it cooks relatively slowly the way we were doing it, because we don't want to burn it. It gets a really good amount of Maillard reaction. Wow, sorry, this is the best lamb I've ever eaten in my life. Let me try and compose myself for a second. This is so much better than I thought it was going to be, but this is just ridiculously good. It's meaty, salty, it's caramelized, it's tender, it's juicy, the fat is melting, it's delicate, it's elegant. It would go great with wine. A bottle of aged Bordeaux would be fabulous, but also a lot of wines go with this. You can have a Shiraz, something really big and heavy. You can have a Burgundy, something much lighter, made of Pinot Noir. You could have a great full-bodied big beer with this, a nice English ale. This is beyond the best lamb I've ever had. This is possibly up there with the best steak I've ever had. Any of these methods are going to produce really good lamb if you have really good lamb to start with. English Romney Saltmarsh lamb is very sweet compared to other lamb. It's probably less gamey and meaty and earthy than any other lamb that I've ever had. If you can get hold of it, then I would 100% recommend it. Barbecue the lamb if you've got time. It takes longer than the oven version. The sous vide takes the longest, but you can go and do other things. But it just isn't as much flavor. If you've got a big dinner party and you need to do 3 or 4 big racks, then the sous vide might be a great option. Take it out of the sous vide and then dry it off and put it in the barbecue that you've already got relatively hot, just for 4 or 5 minutes. It's not going to dramatically increase the temperature, but it will give you more flavor. You'll get Maillard reaction and you will get slight barbecue smokiness, not a massive amount, and you don't want a massive amount. This is a meat experience you won't forget. If you don't like lamb, maybe you haven't had a chance to taste really great lamb. I've heard that in America, American lamb is quite earthy and gamey in flavor, very strong in flavor and bold. If you're there, maybe you can try and get some New Zealand lamb, some Australian lamb, or if you can find it Welsh or English, which are very delicate and sweet and elegant like this. It is an experience worth having. Please go and find it. Now I'm going to sit here and finish off right down to the bone these last few pieces that are here. I would give this 10 out of 10. It's up there with the great steak experiences. Oh, you can see I'm absolutely gobsmacked. And if you like these sorts of videos, please subscribe to the channel. You'd really help us out. Give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if you want to ask any questions or let me know what I can try next time. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you next time. It's always a great idea when you've got rack of lamb and you've got the little bones left at the end, just to nibble. If you barbecued it especially, just nibble around the outside. I so often seen, especially my kids, they leave all the best bits. Oh. The bits on the bone are the best bits. They're so tasty. It's really a lot of fun making these videos, but sometimes it goes beyond fun. This is serious pleasure. I mean, this is so sweet. You know, I mean, we are at springtime, so maybe these are quite young lambs, but this might just be the most exquisite meat on the planet. I'm not exaggerating. If you see in my other videos, I'm not normally short of words. I've done nothing to this apart from salt. What you can do is you can make a puree of many different types. Pea puree, celeriac puree, pom puree, whatever you like. Absolutely delicious. It also goes really well with tomato-based things, although keep it light. Don't put too much there. Definitely never sort of cover your rack in lots of sauce. It's unnecessary. You can do a crust, although I'm not a massive fan. I like, with good quality lamb, I just like to taste the lamb. Just keep it simple. A bit of mint sauce, if you like mint sauce, can be good. Also remember, when you're cooking lamb, unlike a steak, you want to start low and slow. It's more like the skin on a duck breast. You don't want to oversear it. You can see that this is golden on the outside. That's what you want. You get caramelized and crispy, but no burnt flavor, and it doesn't go too tough. The problem with the sous vide machine is that it's almost too perfect. This is so uniformly cooked, but it does change the texture. It's softer, but not in the best possible way. It's almost like it's mushy now. This has only been an hour in there. And I'm not saying it's not good.